Hello viewers and subscribers. In this video, I'll be showing you my Arrows 1100mm F4U Corsair having its stock 4-bladed propeller being converted into a 2-bladed propeller. As in that, this propeller that you see on the Corsair is actually an original 4-bladed propeller of the diameter and pitch size that this plane came with from the factory, as in a diameter of 10.5 inches and the pitch being 8 inches. And some other things to say is that the 4-bladed propeller this Arrows 1100mm F4U Corsair came with is the same as to what some of those E-flite 1.2 meter warbird planes, such as the P-51 Mustang, the other Corsair, and that P-47 Thunderbolt from those series. And an example, of another airplane that came with that exact same specification of a 4-blade propeller is the Dynam 1200mm Spitfire version 3. And I do recall that you've seen a Dynam 1200mm Spitfire version 3 on my Ian Caldwell Element channel from when I was showing a 3-blade propeller conversion I did on that Spitfire before, and showing how that Spitfire has a white Dubro 3-blade spinner knot stuff on it. Okay, so big thing for making this video of showing this Corsair having its stock 4-blade propeller being modified into a 2-blade propeller is that I want to talk about how do I feel so far about one flight attempt I've done so far with this exact 2-blade propeller setup on a 3S 11.1 volt LiPo battery. And what I'd say is that as far as doing one flight on this exact 2-blade prop setup on a 3S LiPo, I am reasonably satisfied with the flight performance, as in that for just typically flying at around 65% throttle, I still consider the speed of the airplane not too fast, but not too slow for me. And I am aware that with the rule of thumb, for different propellers are the same diameter and pitch, but the blade quantity is different, more blades on propellers should make an airplane fly faster, and less blades should make an airplane fly slower. And I did notice a little bit of a speed difference for this prop being in its 2-blade setup before it was in its 4-blade setup. That the original 4-blade setup made the plane a bit faster to fly, while I see that this in its 2-blade setup makes it slower to fly, but still, in its 2-blade setup, I'm happy and satisfied. And for even let's just say a few months from now or 7 months from now, I kind of feel like I do not want to buy another propeller for this plane for the time being, since I currently have another broken stock 4-blade propeller of this that I actually did a 2-blade conversion on recently. And that one I'm talking about is where I showed it as a flat T-shaped 3-blade prop on a Berlin Express Mustang earlier. And after I uploaded that flat T-shaped 3-blade propeller demo video, I got rid of that blade that was, the opposing blade to the counterweight I had earlier, and just made that a normal 2-blade prop like with this one. And another thing too is I do have a E-flite T34 Mentor 12/8 2-blade propeller, which also works really good on this plane. And I still have a 3-blade propeller that I would not mind using on this Corsair. And another big thing about using this stock 4-blade prop being a 2-blade conversion, even though less blades is supposed to make it slower fly, is that I wanted to make a use out of the, stock, scale surrounding things of the propeller. And for example, that 12/8 that I have and a 3-blade that I still have, though definitely work great on this, well, this stock scale hub won't fit on those propellers. But the scale hub that you see here would only fit the stock 4-blade propellers of this kind of plane. And also, for flying this plane on the stock 4-blade propeller, still being an unbroken 4-blade propeller versus the stock 4-blade propeller being modified to 2-blade, when it comes to flight times, I notice the modified 2-blade conversion gives me a longer flight by even about a extra 1 minute or 1 minute and 30 seconds for using the same exact 3S 11.1 volt 1800 milliamp hour LiPo battery that I've used multiple times on this plane. And as well for, keeping the throttle settings between those two prop setups the same or similar enough. And for example, for the original unbroken 4-blade of this, when I fly for like a little over 6 minutes at mostly 65% throttle on that 1800 I'm talking about, the cells, starting from a full charge, already drained to that typical 3.77 to 3.80 volts. After that, battery would rest for even like 5 or 6 minutes at least. And when I do use that same 1800, doing like a mostly 65% throttle flight on that stock 4-blade in its 2-blade modification form, to, get that 1800 drained to a typical 3.77, 3.80 volts for at least after a 5-minute rest, instead of taking just a little over 6 minutes, or like 6 minutes and 10 seconds for that kind of after-flight charge condition, that would actually take about more like exactly 7 minutes and 30 seconds to 7 minutes and 40 seconds. And I hope all of you viewers and subscribers enjoy this video of myself verbally presenting my Arrows 1100mm F4U Corsair, having its stock broken 4-blade propeller in a standard 2-blade conversion. Thank you all very much.